Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is some more advanced nail art, but I'm gonna walk you through it and try and be as helpful as I can to get you there. We're gonna start off with this wood base, and for that you need 3 different browns. Doesn't have to be the ones I use, you just need a light, medium, and dark. I started off with my lightest shade and carefully painted a big circle on the nail. When doing this, I like to kind of break it up into quadrants and just do a little swoop and then another and another and just wrap it back around. The outside of the circle doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna paint around it anyways. You just need that inside to be clean, and you can always wipe it off and try again, don't forget that. So yeah, paint the rest of the nail around the circle, cure that layer, and then we're gonna go in with an ombre brush, and you're going to grab a little bit of each of those browns and squiggle it onto the nail. This is wood grain, so it's natural, which means not perfect. We just want some messy vertical lines, and we want to blend it up to the cuticle and into that circle as best we can. Sometimes I turn the brush sideways to get a more defined, thicker line here and there, usually using the darkest shade. And remember that this is your background. We're going to paint nail art on top of it, so don't get too fixated on this looking just right, because it will all come together in the end when all the layers are there. Cure that layer, and then normally I would put a matte top coat on here as well before doing the line work, but these polishes that I use don't have much of an inhibition layer, so I know I can get clean lines on them. If your polishes have an inhibition layer, make sure that you either wipe that off or put down a matte top coat so that your lines don't bleed. This line work piece is where it does get a bit advanced. This just takes practice and good tools. Once you get used to your tools, you will find that you can allow them to do a lot of the work for you. So get you a good long liner brush, and I would recommend having a clean little block or angled brush handy to help you clean up mistakes as you go. You will see me do this throughout the video. I also like to flash cure as I go so that if I mess up, I don't have to redo the whole nail. I can just wipe off what I messed up and redo that. Now there's a few different moon shapes in this set, so I'm going to tell you my trick for that, because even though they look simple, they took me a long time to get down, and they still give me anxiety every time I have to paint one. So what I like to do is load up my liner brush and then lay it down at what will be the thickest part of the moon, and then swoop it out from there, and then lay it back down at that spot again and swoop it out the opposite direction, because wherever you lay down your brush is going to be the thickest part of your line, and then as you swoop it out and you're using less pressure, it gets thinner and pointier. You might still have to touch it up a little bit, but that's what's made it a lot easier for me to get that shape as crisp as possible. Once you're done with all that line work, you're going to cure it, and then I went in and highlighted a few spots with some white, cured that, and then we can move on. Now for this next part, you need a good thick clear gel. It can be a builder gel, or for big things like this, I like to use something out of a tube like this so I can squeeze it out right where I want it. And then I can use my stripey brush to tug and swipe it out to exactly where I want it. It's also helpful if it self-levels just enough that it will smooth itself out, but not so much that it falls flat. You need something that holds its shape for the most part while you work with it. Once you get it how you like it, I like to flash cure it to lock it in place and then do a full cure in the big lamp. Then all you gotta do is top coat. I like to lay down a slip layer, cover that dome, and then I grab a little extra and float it on a bit to smooth everything out. Maybe flip the nail over if needed. And then again, another spot I like to flash cure to lock it in place and then go in for a full cure. But yeah, if you want to see me do the rest of these nails, I have the full video posted on my YouTube, which is linked in my bio. So feel free to check that out, and hopefully this was helpful for you guys.